today I want to talk about social media posts for real estate agents because a lot of agents are, I think, unsure about what to post on social media, what's going to create the most amount of engagement, um, or are just kind of unsure about what it is that they should be posting. So I wanted to address a couple of those things today. I think the first thing that you need to consider when you're trying to come up with your social media posting plan is who is your ideal client. So your ideal client it could be defined by your niche, what they're looking for, first-time home buyers, sellers, buyers. It could be their age group. They could be parents, single, young people living in a city. Whoever it is that your ideal client is, that's who you need to structure your social media posts around. You want to make posts that are appealing to them. So instead of thinking, I can post the latest listings from my office, or I'll just remind people that I'm a real estate agent and remind them to contact me, or making posts more centered around yourself, make social media posts centered around your ideal client. Post things that are of interest to them, because that is the way that you will be viewed as someone that they actually want to get information from. Because when people don't know you and they're looking at your social media, and you're trying to attract people into your business and into your online community, it has to be content that they actually want to see. And if they don't know you, they maybe don't care as much about they want to see the person behind the business, but it has to be balanced with a lot of content based around them and what they're interested in. So I think the goal when you're taking your business online is to become seen as the local expert. And when people think of what a local expert is, they think of, okay, that's going to be my girl or guy that knows everything about XYZ. So if you want to be seen as the local expert in your city, town, neighborhood, whatever it is, or your niche, give people information on that and structure it around your ideal client specifically. So just as an example, if your ideal client is a first-time home buyer, most likely single, young professional, then you're going to want to post content around what they want to hear about. So maybe it's the hottest upcoming neighborhood to buy or rent. Maybe it's the newest restaurant opening up in the neighborhood. Perhaps it's more information on how they could become renters to owners. Things that are going to pertain just to them. Whereas if your ideal client is somebody more like a young family, then maybe you want to post more events on structured around family. What are the upcoming festivals that are happening that weekend, or events happening that weekend? Either way, if you want to become the local expert, you have to post about things, maybe not always real estate centered, but local centered. You want to know what's going on in your neighborhood, what's going on in your city, so that you're almost like that go-to person. Like, think about a lifestyle blogger or, a local city expert. Look at what they're posting, go to their profile, and you'll be able to see what kind of things are of interest to people. Local restaurants, local coffee shops, local new businesses opening up. Whatever it is that is going to give information to people in your local sphere, that they're going to want to then look for your post, because you're going to be giving them information that they want to hear about. The third thing is, I think, as real estate agents, we're so busy and there's so many things to think about. And I think a lot of people get overwhelmed with social media and having to post all the time. And, it feels like a job a lot of the time, right? And we don't really have time for it. So I love the fact that now there's so many tools that you can use to schedule out like a month or 2 months in advance all of your social media posts. So if you commit to doing this maybe like 1 or 2 hours at the beginning of the month, then you can have a ton of your social media already planned out for you. It is going to take a little bit of time to think about it, but when you batch your content, you're in that mode, right? Where you're not, don't wait to the last minute to try to post something, because you probably won't post. It's like when you're sitting down and you're thinking about it and you're trying to plan things out in terms of what to post and how you're going to structure everything for the month or two that you're doing it for. You're in that zone, so it's much easier for you to, it's almost like you're brainstorming things to post about, and you're doing your research on what's happening in your area and what can I, tell people in my audience that's coming up in the next month or two. So it's a lot easier to kind of sit down and do that at once. And then there's some cool tools out there that you can use. Like I like to use something called Later for Instagram. And then there's other services like Planoly. There's a bunch of different tools you can use that are free and easy to learn, that'll help you just post a lot of social media in one shot, which is great. I love that. And the other thing that I want you to start thinking about it in terms of also batching your content, but I also want you to think about repurposing your content. So if you did one video, like let's say I took this video and I do it on Instagram Live, that's one time that I sit down, create a piece of content, and then I can take this video and I can repurpose it across several different social media channels. So I can take this, upload it to YouTube, I can upload it to my story on Instagram, create an Instagram post around it, put it on my blog. There's just so many different ways you can take one piece of content and put it across several different platforms, because different people use different platforms. Don't worry so much that people are going to get sick of you and they're going to see you everywhere, and it's going to be annoying, because the truth is, people are busy. They're catching you on Facebook, they're catching you on Instagram, or whatever it is their preferred way of consuming content. Maybe they prefer to read a transcription of this video in a blog post. I mean, everybody is different. So taking a piece of content and repurposing it is such a smart and effective way to leverage something that you've put your time into to create a piece of content for your audience. So those are just some things to think about in terms of posting on social media for your audience. Make sure that you think about who it is that you're speaking to, who's your ideal client, create your content around them, batch it or repurpose it so that it feels like you are leveraging your time, so you're not spending all of your time on social media, and just automate it and put it everywhere. So those are my social media tips for today. I hope you got value from this, and I will talk to you guys soon.